Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join three Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers!
Welcome to We Wine Whenever. This is Lori.
Wendy.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are doing episode 6. It's called The Love Boat from the Love Hotel. So we shall see what's going on with all the girls and the guys. We start out where we see Shannon and Earl holding hands and talking about boats. And then Ashley is talking to her girls on the phone and showing them the pool. Then we pan to Mitch, Giselle, and Theo. I kind of like the Theo. What do you guys think?
He's the doctor that runs with the bulls, right?
Yeah.
I like him too.
Wendy's met him.
him.
Wendy's not loving him. Okay.
I don't know if I see him and Giselle together, but I like him.
But you like him? Yeah. So Mitch asked Giselle what she has found out about herself since she's been on the show. I thought that was a great question.
Great question.
A great question, right? She says she didn't know what to expect coming here. So being open and learning, get to know men that she could potentially be with for the rest of her life. And she says you got to be ready for that. But I thought that was interesting because I don't necessarily know that she's really there. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know.
Maybe she doesn't know that yet.
Maybe not. Okay.
Right?
And then Theo throws in a statistic that Black women married to white men have the lowest divorce rate. And Giselle likes that since she previously asked him a question about dating Black women. And then he did some research. And then, so she kind of liked that. She said, well, I
liked it too.
That I did like. I will give him.
Did that research.
Yeah.
Especially since he had never dated a Black woman before. Like he went all in.
Yeah. Well, he's a smarty.
I give him points.
Yeah, he's a smarty. So, what comes next? Let's see. Oh, and then everybody gets together. The cast is all assembled with Joel. And Theo and Mark have the same wooden necklace. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
I didn't notice that.
They must have went island shopping together.
It was the beads. I noticed the beads on Mark, but I did not notice them on Theo. That's funny.
Yeah. So
funny.
So they must have
James
went
was wearing an interesting necklace too.
I believe he has this one that's similar, probably from like the same vendor. But you can tell they went like
gift shop in the hotel or something.
Island shopping together. Oh, it was hysterical. I thought that was really funny. So Mark has on another vest. I can't.
Does he not own a shirt? Does Mark not own a shirt?
Well, it's just so interesting because then we learn that he typically dates younger women. And I'm like, what younger woman
is digging that with a vest? No.
No.
One word. Right. One word. No.
He's in great shape. He really is in great shape. But I don't know.
No, I agree. We don't need to see that. Seriously, we don't.
No. I'd prefer like a guinea tea over that any day.
Oh, no, not a guinea tea either. Neither,
yeah.
That's underwear.
Yeah. So anyway.
It's underwear that's fun to wear.
Yes. Mark tells us that he's upping his game, and James looks quite nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So Joel tells them they're going to go on a one-on-one date on a boat, and they need to ask their date right now. And I noticed that Ashley changed her hair part to the middle, and I like it better in the middle.
I love Ashley's hair curly.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I do too.
I love her hair curly. She should always wear it curly. It looks so good. I mean, I know she likes to switch it up, but she's got great curly hair.
Oh, it's beautiful curly hair.
Like, I don't know what product she uses, but it's good.
It's good, yeah. And I like to part it in the middle. Giselle goes first, and she asks Theo. Shannon asks Earl. And Joel asks who amongst the Ashley verse is going to go to sea with her today. That was pretty funny. And she picks Ralph, says she hasn't been on a date with him yet. And then we cut to like her confessional, and she tells us that she has done kissing boot camp with her ex-husband.
I know, that was
So I was like,
interesting.
oh,
Yeah, well,
okay.
so I guess he sucked in the beginning and then she like fixed it.
She
Guess so.
I don't know. She tuned him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she said they come in giving lizard and they exit giving romance novels. So I guess Ashley Darby's quite the teacher. So let's see. Luann picks Mark, says she feels bonded with James, but Mark came all the way back to try and get a date with her. It's so weird how he like ran over and jumped on her.
Mark did?
Yeah, Mark did. When she gave
When she picked him.
Yeah, when she picked him
Yeah.
and gave him the date.
Yeah.
I was like, bro,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah,
I
way to
think
show some enthusiasm.
I think he was doing it just to kind of put it in James' face because James has been so possessive
Yes.
of
Weirdly.
her.
I agree with that.
Like, I think he's like, okay, James, look who she
Yeah.
picked. I think that's what that was about.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You're probably right. And did you see Wale? He was like, dude, get the fuck off me. And like, he like gets up and so he can sit there. But he was just like, what are you doing here?
He was freaked out. It was funny.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. And then Mark sits next to Luann and he gives her like a weird like sniff. Did you catch that? It was weird.
Yeah.
Like
I
he
didn't
goes up
catch
to,
that.
he like snuggles up to her neck and like gives her like a sniff. I was like, what are you, Joe Biden? What are you doing?
Oh,
Weird.
that's weird.
Was
That's
weird.
weird.
Yeah.
A sniff is never a good thing.
No.
Let's just rule the sniff right out.
The no sniff,
Guys.
no lizard. Okay?
Right. I mean, the
just-
lizard kiss, sometimes you can't help that. They just
Yeah,
can't help
yeah.
it. But the
So-
sniff, you can help. You're well aware if you're sniffing.
Yes. So, I need your help here, guys, because Luann says he reminds her of guys she used to date, and then production flashes back to a picture of two guys side by side.
Tom and was it Harry Dubin? It was definitely Tom.
Was it Harry Dubin? No, I feel like
No.
it was it wasn't Jock, was it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It was
No,
two
I don't think it
guys
was.
side by side that production flashed back to.
They were
I
just two
forget.
They were two Yorkers. Jacques wasn't a New Yorker. I don't think
No,
it could
he
have been
wasn't.
him.
You're
It
right.
was it was Tom and somebody
It
else.
probably had to be Harry.
Yeah.
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 And then Ashley hugs Wale and asks him if he's going to have a good afternoon. I guess while she's gone, making out with Ralph.
Yeah.
Listen, Wale is going to be just fine.
Yes,
He's
he
at
is.
this, beautiful resort, and
Yes.
the drinks are flowing, and food is at your disposal. Wale is going to be just fine, Ashley.
I agree.
And then they go out on the boat, and Giselle sits next to Theo, and the boat's like a little bit rocky, and he reassures her that the captain will steady the boat. It's like, look at you, so cute.
Mm-hmm.
And then the deckhand comes out to announce, the boat is docked, you can swim, there's food, but he's got a baseball cap on backwards. I was like, bro, you're working on a yacht. Like, what?
Yeah.
You're not in your backyard at a barbecue.
Yeah. That would not fly on Below Deck, by the way. There would be no backward baseball caps.
The captain
No.
would shut that down.
I think that was cool.
And if you're serving, you're in your blacks.
That's right.
Yeah. And guess what Mark has on the boat?
A vest.
A shirt, like a shirt vest. I was like,
Yeah,
he's like,
but a vest.
what?
Another vest.
Vest nonetheless.
Just a vest. Poor Mark.
So
You can't get him.
everyone's,
But did he have his wrap palazzo pants on?
No,
no, I don't believe
He
he did not.
He was not wearing his Aladdin pants.
No Aladdin pants. No.
But what about poor Earl with his shirt all open on the boat, enjoying himself, and Shannon just not being able to get it together? I don't know if I can. I don't know. Like, that's really bothering me. Listen, I actually understand what she was saying. It would have bothered me too. But think about it. In the big scheme of things, like, it's not a big deal.
Right. Let him live.
Let
Like,
him,
if that's the
let him live
worst thing he does.
Right.
Right. And listen, he's fine with it. Like, you're the only one that has, well, I mean, probably other people had a problem with it too.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is the podcast where parenting meets pop culture, true crime gets side-eyed between Little League baseball games, and aging millennials and Gen Xers laugh their way through life's latest chaos.
From celebrity scandals to learning life's lessons the hard way, we tackle it all with sarcasm and humor. Think of it as your group chat in audio form. Start listening to our podcast called Populore on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
So that's what she was worried about.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So maybe Shannon's too uptight for Earl.
Well, she
I
does
just
say.
can't believe that she's like so zoned in on him and not like she's really not even trying with anybody else.
No, she's not. She did say that she's not sure if she can date a simple man. Like if a simple man is the right man for her.
Right.
Yeah, she said,
So,
can Earl fit into her life acting like this? I mean,
yeah.
she's got quite the stick up her ass, though.
Yeah.
Well, this is all she knows, though. You know, she's been with very controlling men, and she is very conservative in her dress and the way that she presents herself. She's very conservative. So that's all she knows.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he was like, I don't think anything that he's done so far has been that bad, like as bad as she makes it out to be. And then you look at what she's been with already and you try and like put them on the scale and you're like, girl, like it's not.
Yeah, like he's kind, he's respectful, he's not verbally abusing you.
Right.
Right.
Like
So he doesn't eat vegetables and he
maybe
like
you should like maybe you should give this a shot. Maybe he's simple, sure, but he's not a douchebag either. So maybe you
no,
give
he
that a
seems
try.
like he's a good man.
Right.
And sometimes that's more important than money or the polish or the napkin on the lap.
Well, when you don't have money, it's easy to feel that way.
Yeah, I guess.
But when you do have money, maybe you look at it a little differently. Maybe.
I think Earl must have money if he said he wants to open up some adult daycares and some assisted livings. That's not cheap.
No, it's
and
not
if he's
cheap,
on
and
the
it's not an
show,
easy market to get into either.
Right.
No.
Right.
I mean, maybe down there it is, but not up here.
No, I'm sure it's not anywhere because it's all about insurance.
Right.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if he was, vetted to be on the show, they're not putting any brokes on there.
I wouldn't
Right.
think so.
That's the other thing. They're not
Yeah.
casting anybody to suit these women, to pursue these women who don't have something in the bank, something
Yeah.
to offer. Yeah.
Right.
That's true. Good point.
But she didn't say anything about money. She just said a simple.
No.
She did. She never mentioned the money. I just think she's used to the conservative control freak. She's not used to the simple man who walks around with his shirt open and doesn't eat vegetables.
Right. And is
like
easygoing and like not blasé, but like lets things roll off and
exactly.
Yeah.
She's not used to that. She doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, what's her father's nickname? What's her dad's nickname?
What is her dad's nickname?
Why can't I think of that? Yeah, because he's her dad's a player, so she
Yeah.
she knows what that is. What is his name?
I don't know, but did you see where I didn't know this about Luann always thought about a third kid?
Gene the
Say that.
Machine.
That's it, Gene the Machine.
Oh,
That's her
boy.
dad's nickname.
Yep, Gene the Machine. So
Fucking
no wonder
awesome.
she's looking at Earl the Pearl.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What'd you say, Laura?
That's
I cut
right.
you off?
I was no. I was just talking about Luann. She was having a conversation with Mark and asking him why a guy like him is still single. And he said his last girlfriend wanted to have kids and he already has 5. And Luann said she always thought about a third, but it never happened.
But it was interesting that she said that. Like I look at Victoria and Noelle and I think something's missing. A third is missing. That was interesting that she said that.
Yeah.
Maybe she always wanted to have 3 kids. And just
Maybe
never...
she did always want to have 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. We've said it before. I do feel bad for Luann because I do think she was in love with the Count. I think she was in love with her life. And then he wanted an open marriage. And I don't think she did. And that's too difficult to sustain.
Oh, I agree.
I feel bad.
That's what happened with Ashley and her husband too.
Right.
Right.
Like I think those 2 women would have been perfectly happy just being with their husbands and, living the rest of their lives. And unfortunately, their husbands weren't satisfied
Right.
with that.
I agree
That
with that.
sucks.
I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Which is a shame because they're both absolutely drop dead, gorgeous, vivacious, smart, energetic, entertaining women that,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, how come that's not enough? Like,
yeah.
you have to wonder, like, why was I not enough? And I'm all these things. And
Yeah.
that's hurtful to your self-esteem.
But in reality, it's what's lacking in them.
Sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's not a her problem. That's a he problem.
No.
I mean, Giselle even mentioned about, being married to a pastor, what was expected of her to be the first lady of the church. And listen, I think she was the first lady of the church and he was the dog.
For
she
sure.
lived up to her end of it, but he
Yeah.
did not.
But he
You
did
But she
not.
had to keep her mouth shut and a
And
straight
toe the line.
face. And yeah, and he was probably out messing around. And she just had to get up there and smile every week at the congregation.
Yep. But you know
That's
what?
a
When you have 3 daughters, you get to a point where you're like, you know what? I don't want them to think this is okay.
Right.
This is not what I want for my daughters, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Of course. You don't want them to think that that's acceptable behavior from your
Right.
spouse.
Right. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So then we go to a conversation between Giselle, Theo, Shannon, and Earl. And Giselle asks Theo, how do you feel about that we don't have much time? And it was interesting because I'm like, well, is she asking about like that in general because they're older? Or is she just saying we don't have much time here on this show?
I took it as on the show.
I took it as on the show also. I mean, they're not that
Like,
old.
we're probably going to have to go back and I'm going to have to decide if I'm sending your ass home or not.
Right.
And he answers, I think I'm just living in the actual moment for real. Which
That was a good answer.
it was a
great
good
answer.
answer. And in reality, that is a very hard thing to do because you're always thinking about mistakes you made in your past and you're always worrying about your future. So,
Sure.
And then we cut to a confessional with Luann and Ashley. And Ashley says Theo was handsome. And Luann says from being a nurse that for her, just doctors don't have enough time.
Yeah. That was interesting that she said that. And you know who I thought about? David. Dolores's David on New Jersey.
He got married.
David did?
Yeah, I think he did. Or, I mean, wasn't he dating one of Louis' exes?
He was dating one of Louis' exes, but I didn't think he got
Oh,
married.
they didn't get married? Okay, maybe he
I don't
didn't.
think so. I could be wrong, though. I'd be shocked.
I could be wrong, too.
I'd be shocked if that guy got married.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I know somebody who met him and they said he was a dick.
Really?
Married a who?
I know
No,
somebody
met
who
him.
met David at something.
Okay.
And they said he was a dick. I said I could see it.
Oh, I could see it, too.
Yeah.
So Ashley says maybe a busy doctor like Theo does pique Giselle's interest because she has his own thing going on. Ashley says in her confessional about Ralph that they're similar because they're both, have their kids already. So she's kind of talking about him, trying to figure out what she's going to do with him. And then Giselle and Ralph are talking. She asks if when they leave, can he see himself at her house in her world? And no, so sorry. Giselle and Earl are talking. And
Right. She asked Earl that.
Yeah, if he can see herself in Shannon's house in her world. And Earl says he really doesn't know what her life is. And he goes, I guess she eats out a lot. Giselle said, she's super fancy. She's expensive.
It's right. That's what, yes.
That I never dated an expensive woman before. I mean,
Right.
I love that he's honest about that.
I do too.
Like, I feel like he's taking this seriously.
Yeah, most definitely.
He's not like James where he's like, you're my girlfriend. Like, that's ridiculous.
No.
And
weird.
I love you.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Weird.
I love you. Stop it right now.
Yeah.
He's got major pick me energy.
I have a real problem with him.
Yeah.
James.
So we see
no.
Mark and Luann do a little kissing on the boat. And in confessional, she says there's some chemistry and she wants to feel Mark out and maybe not move so fast with James. So we shall say.
I think after last night.
Yeah, it's a little late on that.
I thought the kissing was very awkward.
I did too. Between Mark and Luann.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
it
did too.
was
I
awkward.
mean, in their defense, I mean, fine, I'm glad he kissed her because that's what she wanted. But
Mhm.
and you're on camera and it's your first kiss with somebody, so
Yeah.
chances are it's going to be a little awkward. But yeah, I didn't. I mean, Ashley's kisses do not seem awkward.
No,
No.
no. And
No,
I guess
they
you're
don't.
on a boat full of people. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like just an awkward. Yeah, like when Ashley kissed her guys, like she was away from everybody. There wasn't like an audience. So maybe that's where the awkwardness came in. I don't know.
I don't know. I think
So,
it's interesting though when they got back from the boat, Ashley went up to Wale and invited him back to her room.
I did too.
I
mhm.
mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think she's just trying to figure it out, I guess. But I do feel like, I mean, I guess she's playing a game because she's on a show where you're trying to pick somebody. So it is kind of a game show.
Yeah, she's playing hard.
She's playing hard.
She
And
really is.
it's maybe she's moving so quickly between the two. But
Yes.
like she said on Watch What Happens Live, like I didn't know what I was going to be walking into the next scene. Joel could be like, you got to send somebody home. So maybe that's why she's moving so quickly.
Yeah,
But I do kind of feel bad for Wale.
I do too.
You know,
I do.
maybe she really does have feelings for both of them and is trying to
I think
figure
she
it out.
does. I do think she does. I just think, like Kelly said, it's very quick.
Yeah.
And like Wale said in our previous episode, like you didn't even brush your teeth in between. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then we see Luann kisses James and says she missed him. And then Ashley and Wale are sitting together and she asks him, they're in her hotel room, and she asks him what his life is like at home.
Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. And she says she could really see Wale being a real partner for her. So I don't know.
I wonder if they're similar in age.
They are.
They
I
are?
think
They're
that they
similar.
are.
Yeah, they're like 2 years apart, I think.
Okay. Is he
Yeah.
older?
I think he might be. I think, is he 38 and she's 36
I
or
think
vice
so.
versa?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
he's,
so.
yeah, I think
See,
he's
to
30.
me, like that's like a nice fit. But
Yeah.
that's probably because that's
Right.
how I've always rolled. you know?
Right. But that's not how she's rolled.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So for her, like Ralph is a very, like to me, I'd be like, I'm not at 36, I'm not going to be attracted to a 61-year-old man. I might think he's handsome, but I'm not going to be like, let me get with it.
Right.
But for her, that's how she rolls.
So did you see when James said, I forget who he was talking to, he says, yeah, Luann loves me. She's just being nice to Mark.
I think were they sitting at the table at that point?
Yeah.
They were
Yes.
sitting at the table and Giselle was there.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. And you
Yeah,
see the
that
look
was-
on everyone's face when he said
Huh?
that?
Uh-huh.
They're like,
No, she just took him out on a date. Think she's doing more than being nice to him.
yeah.
And then Joel says he has some special guests.
This was good. This was a nice
Yeah.
twist.
This
I
was a
love
nice
this.
choice. I like
I
it.
love this. Yeah.
So we see Shannon's daughters come. Giselle's hairstylist, Cal, comes. Ashley's friend, Brant, comes, who's called Big Daddy B. Okay.
Which is weird. And you know
Yeah,
what's
it's
really
weird.
weird about that? Like, we've seen Cal many times.
Yeah, we've
with
never seen
Giselle.
Brant.
We've never seen Brant before.
I thought the same thing, Wendy.
Yep. I'm like, this is weird.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then Luann has Cynthia Bailey.
Yes. Love that.
So me too. And at first I was like, oh, she's bringing Cynthia on so that they can line Cynthia up for the next season. However, then I watched Atlanta and she is still with Amsterdam. And I know they blurred out his face, but he looks good even with a blurred out face.
You can
So
see him on the after show. They show him. Watch the Atlanta after show. Yep.
I will, because
Yeah.
I'm very curious. And she said he's younger than her.
He's in his 30s. She talks
Stop.
about him all the time on Humble Brag.
So there's like a 20-year difference.
Yep. Yep. She
God bless
is.
her.
Yes. Yes. She talks about him all the time.
God
all the
bless
time.
her.
Yeah.
Good. I'm going to watch the after show so I can get a good peek at Amsterdam.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not what you think. She's absolutely right.
Yeah.
what you
So
think.
that's not, so my theory went right out the window.
He's a musician. He's got long dreads.
Yeah.
Like, he's not what you would think.
All
I mean,
right.
he's good looking. He's very
course,
good looking.
that's what
And
I'm-
tall. He's very tall. But she's very tall. So, yeah.
So Joel says the BFFs, that's what he's calling
Mm-hmm.
the special guests, will be choosing the dates and going on the dates.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I was tired of searching for new pickleball gear that actually is good quality and performs. So I ordered the Volleybird pickleball subscription box from volleybird.shop. Every 8 weeks, I get a box full of high quality curated finds for my sport. Think a cool new top to wear on court, plus unique equipment and wellness goodies. It's like having a shopper who gets my active life and desire for gear that's been curated and tested. I know if there's a 3-pack of pickleballs in there or a new vegan sunscreen, it's going to be decent and work for me. Check it out yourself at volleybird.shop.
So I thought, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
So Giselle's friend asks Theo, how do you find love in a couple of weeks? And he said, you got to put yourself out there and hopefully the universe gives you something back. Then he meets Phil and he pegs him that he is into fashion, which I was like, I don't know.
Well, I got it.
Yeah, you got it?
Yeah, I got it. He's wearing those matching ensembles. Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
What, you don't think Phil's into fashion?
I don't know. I just wouldn't have necessarily thought that.
Yes,
of
I
him.
definitely. Yes,
did?
he's very well put together.
Yeah, that's what
Actually, almost too well put together.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one.
Totally
Okay,
agree with that.
which why I would think Cal would know that.
Yeah, the radar.
Yes, I would think, but
Yeah,
he picked what Giselle wanted him to pick. Let's be real,
most definitely. Yeah.
right?
He picked Phil, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
He's like, oh, he has a house in Bel Air. We're going to go with Phil.
We're
Yeah.
gonna go with Phil.
Yeah.
Call me up when you go for a ride in the Rolls Royce.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he actually said that, right? Didn't he actually say that?
Did he?
That's funny.
So then Earl sits down with Shannon's daughters and they ask about his life in Georgia and where does he see himself in 10 years. And that's when he talks about he wants to open a few geriatric daycare centers and an assisted living facility, which I thought was very nice.
Yeah.
And then Giselle goes to test Theo and Phil, and she says, rank these things in importance to you. Food, sleep, and sex. Mr. Belair says sex, food, sleep. Giselle says sex, sleep, food.
Food,
And
right?
Theo doesn't answer really. But he says, oh, I can go without sleep. And then Cal chimes in and says, sleep is very important to Giselle. She's in bed at 8 o'clock.
And she corrected him, said 9:30.
She did. So where do you guys lay on that?
Sleep,
Okay. Well,
sleep. I mean,
Sleep first, for sure.
sleep first. So
I
sorry,
mean-
people.
It's a close second on the other two.
Well, for me, honestly, I mean, food I needed to sustain life. So
Yeah.
Right.
even though I'm not a big foodie, I don't need sex to sustain life. So
Yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
sleep, food, sex. That's my order.
Yep, I'm with you. So sorry. So
It might
sorry.
be the same.
Love you, hun.
I know the second two are really a close second.
Well, you're younger too, Kelly.
Yeah, you are younger.
I'll go sleep, sex, food.
Okay.
There you
But
go.
I do love
Showing
food.
your age.
I do love food.
Okay, so now Big Daddy Brant, Big Daddy B,
Big Daddy B.
talks with Ralph and Wale and is asking them their ages. And he chuckles when Ralph says 61. Did you guys see that?
Yes, I did.
Mhm. And then him and Wale are the same age. And
That's
Ash-
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
And Ashley asks Wale how he would feel about. Brant asks Wale how he would feel about being a stepdad, and he says it depends on the kids. Like, do they like me?
Right. Which is an honest answer.
Honest answer. And he's absolutely right. He's
Right.
absolutely right. You can't be a stepdad to kids who don't like you or respect you or,
Yeah. And Ralph says you have to work it out organically. And then Ashley wants to play this or that. And so she wants to play this or that. So she says mountain or beach. And Wale says mountain, Ashley says beach, Ralph says beach. And then Big Daddy B says, how about a really great date night or really, really great sex? And I was surprised that Ashley said really great date night.
I was surprised too.
Yeah.
Actually wasn't surprised because she can get sex anytime she wants.
Well, there you go.
But not great sex.
I mean,
Well, you keep trying until you get to one that's great.
Yeah, but if you're guaranteed one or the other, you're guaranteed great sex.
No,
You
great.
take it.
I don't know. Great sex is just great sex. A great date can lead to something
It's just
else.
a great date. So get great sex.
I don't know. I would pick a great date. What would you pick? I guess.
I'd pick a great date too.
What would you pick, Kel?
Great sex.
Okay.
All right. Well, Kelly's horny, so
I mean,
okay,
who's going to have
great.
sex
Great
if it's
for
not
you.
going to be great? Why do you want to have sex if it's not going to be great?
I don't
Although, why
know.
would you want to go on a date if it's not going to be great either? I see your point. I see your point.
Come on.
I mean, like Ashley said, what is sex? 3 minutes, right?
I mean, you hope it's a
I mean,
little
even if it's great, right? I mean, what?
That is true. That is true.
And then we go with Cynthia and Luann and Mark. And Cynthia asks Mark what he does, and we find out he restores brownstones in New York City. He does not have one of that.
I didn't realize he lived in New York City.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
I didn't realize that. So he really, it's because I was like, why are they bringing this guy back? But it makes sense because he really is kind of a good fit for Luann.
Yeah, but she's done the New York guy, and that's
Right.
her issue with it.
Right,
Like she's
and that's what
done
she
that
said,
New York
yeah.
guy, and he is a tried and true New Yorker.
Well,
And
yes,
for
he
these
is.
women, like I guess logistics, it's not, you'll figure it out.
Well, Luann is a world traveler.
Exactly.
So what difference does it make? Yeah.
Right.
And then she asked when his last relationship was, and he said over a year ago. She asked how old the girl was, and he said a little younger.
But he hesitated.
Yeah. Oh, yes, most definitely hesitated.
And Luann did not like the hesitation.
Mm-hmm. And
Because he said younger than Luann,
Right.
right?
Yes.
And then somebody said how much younger.
Yeah, but he even hesitated on that. Like he
Yeah.
just hesitated. He
Yeah.
didn't want to
Mhm.
answer it.
Right.
He didn't want to answer it.
yeah. And then she asked Mitch, how do you feel about Luann? She's always on the go. Do you think you could fit into her life? And, she's not going to be around a lot. And he answers probably better than most people. He feels like he needs that. I was like, okay.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
I
what
don't
does
know.
that mean? You don't want her to be around?
I didn't
Less
get
is
it.
more?
Yeah, I don't know. And then he said, I want to sell for 2 more years. And I was thinking, I don't remember what you sell, but okay. And then get out of Sacramento and buy 3 homes around the world. And Luann liked
Yeah.
that he was like a globetrotter.
Yes.
Yeah, that perked her up a little bit.
Yeah. And then Weirdo James asked if he would consider New York as a 3rd place. And do you think he can really love her? All the while, he's like feeling up Cynthia.
He was that was my immediate thought. Like, why is he so close to Cynthia?
He was like
had
on
his
top
hand
of
on her
her.
leg.
Close to her. Yes.
On her leg.
First behind her back and then on her leg. I'm like, what is he doing?
I know.
I
know.
I think he wrecked it for himself right there. I mean,
yeah.
obviously, you saw how the conversation ended with Luann scolding him.
Oh, yeah,
But
she was
really,
pissed.
what are you doing?
I love it when Luann scolds a man.
How uncomfortable was Cynthia? She's like just looking down, like, oh my God, make it stop.
But
so
before
bad.
It
it
was
even
so uncomfortable.
Yeah, but before it even got crazy, like when it first started happening, he starts saying, like I said before, can you really love her? And he was kind of like all on top of Cynthia, and Cynthia kind of put her hand on him and was like, whoa, when he
Yeah.
started asking that. And then he said, can you love her the way she deserves to be loved? Cynthia was like, before Luann started even saying anything, Cynthia was like, well, I'm going to get up. She was like already uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
I need to get the fuck away from this guy.
She
Yeah.
even said, I'm the one asking the questions here. Like
Right.
she put him in his place too. She said, I'm the one asking the questions. And
Yeah.
Luann was like, no.
Right.
And he still didn't get it.
He did not
Yeah.
get it. And I don't know if he just felt embarrassed and then just started acting even more awkward. It didn't seem like he was getting it though.
No, I don't think it registered at all.
No
I don't think
self-awareness.
I don't
Which
think
makes him a prime person to be on Bravo.
Yeah, absolutely.
It requires zero self-awareness.
Yeah.
They'll
You're
probably
right.
give him a spin-off next.
So Luann told him, be a gentleman, compose yourself. You're being rude. She's my girlfriend, not yours. Don't touch her. She
Laid
was
into him.
good and pissed.
I think didn't she even say, I'm really mad at you?
Oh, yeah. She
Like,
was
I'm
pissed.
really mad at you. Like, if that doesn't get it, like,
Yeah, I don't know. It was just weird. It was just,
it was.
if I was Luann, I'd be like, I don't care how big your schlong is. I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, I think she already had him the night before. So now she's like, move on to the next.
Yeah.
Very
You
true.
know?
Very true. And I think that's what he thinks. He's like, well, I already sealed the deal. So,
Yep.
she's mine.
Yep.
I think that's
No.
what his thought was. Like,
Totally.
yeah. No, sorry. Doesn't
Nope.
work that way.
Don't
Not
know
with
who
her,
you're
no.
messing with.
Exactly.
Not in the
Exactly.
Love Hotel.
That's right.
Not with Luann.
Not with Luann.
Yeah. And then all the cast gets together and Joel says he wants a breakdown and he starts with Cynthia and she said Mitch is great and calm and settled. And she said she thinks that Luann and James have a wild obsessive chemistry. And then she says she wants to get to know Mark more. And then we go to Brant. He thinks that Ashley should have more time with Ralph and says that she's torn between Ralph and Wale. And then Wale was funny in the confessional. Did you see? He was telling Brant needs to shut the fuck up. Love him.
I like Wale.
Yeah. And then Cal says they're both genuine, but Phil is the one. And I think you're right.
Yep.
That, he's looking for the free ride in the rolls.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Somebody's getting the ride in the rolls.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah.
It's either Cal or Giselle.
Yeah.
That's right.
Somebody will
That's
be in
right.
the back seat. And Sophie and Adeline, they want somebody that will take care of their mom, Shannon. And then so they ask Earl to join in on the date. And Joel says he has arranged a cooking class so that everyone can grill their men and get a taste of what they are made of. It's like a little clever.
Yeah.
Well, they all did
Clever.
different things. Like some of them did,
Yes.
Yeah.
like Ashley did the
Guacamole.
mixology. Yeah, Shannon did the
Yeah.
guac.
No, Giselle did the mixology class with Ralph and Brant. And
No.
that was
No,
that was
Ashley.
Ashley.
No,
You're
that was
right. Yeah, 'cause
Ashley.
she said,
Ashley.
Yeah, because she said she was a
Ashley.
bartender.
Yeah.
And
Ashley
Ralph
did
said,
that.
Daddy, like.
Right.
was
And
crazy.
then Brant said, did you just say daddy? And he was like, oh. And Ashley's like, I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
It was like,
No, it's cringy. It was
Ashley,
cringy.
Ashley.
Cringy.
She's like,
It
no,
was
that was
all
good.
cringy all around. No, yeah. Giselle made the cake with Phil and
Yes.
Cal.
Yes.
Oh my God, the cake. That was such a bad one, too.
Yeah.
I couldn't even understand him, to be honest with you.
No.
The ingredients, I didn't even know what he was saying.
Yeah. And then Shannon with the guacamole and they bring out the crickets. The fuck was with the crickets?
I know. I think they just like to see Shannon's reactions. I seriously do.
Totally.
I think they do it just to torture her.
I think they were waiting for her to react to him eating a cricket, but her daughter did it first. So he was probably like, bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in their confessional, the girls said that they think Earl is sweet and has good intentions. And it was refreshing to see Shannon talk to a guy like that.
Oh, that was sweet.
Yeah. So that was
I
nice.
really
And
love
then-
that they were there. I like
Me
that
too.
she
That's
had her
nice.
daughters there because you know what? They have been through, like she said, they have been through so much with Shannon. They know how their father treated her. They know what happened with John Jansen. Like they know what she's been through.
Yeah.
So, I love that's who was there for her.
Yeah. So Luann and Cynthia and Mark make paella, and Mark was sporting the macrame vest.
Again.
Again.
I mean, is it the same one? I haven't really noticed.
It's
Or is it
gotta be
different
the same
colors?
one.
Same one.
Yeah. How many
Is it different colors? Is it
No.
different colors? Is
No,
it the
it
same
was the
one?
same
color of this
one.
behind me?
It was
Yeah.
the
right?
same one.
Yeah. I'm just like with this damn vest.
Yeah, dude. Come on. Go to the gift shop and buy a shirt.
Something. And so neither Luann or Mark know how to cut an onion. I never saw anything like it in my life.
Me neither.
Ridiculous. Luann
Eric
just
would have had
hatcheted.
anxiety watching that.
Yeah.
Did
Luann
you see
just
the chef's
like a
face when
hatchet. Yeah.
He's like, sir.
And then he's cutting it all like Shingan to what I don't know what was going on.
He cut himself, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
he
he
cuts
did.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he cuts himself.
Luann's like, he's bleeding.
Jackass.
And then what do we see? Phil is with Giselle and
Cal.
And then, so this was something else.
Yeah.
Giselle was talking about telling Cal how they went to, the astrologer came and astrologer said that Phil is an Aquarius and he's changing all the time, but for the better. And then Phil chimes in that his communication is much better now. Before when he needed me time, he would just take off and leave for a week or a few days. Giselle's face was like,
You see her face?
what?
Yeah. What?
What? She was like,
Yeah. And he could be controlling, he said.
And
She doesn't
Cal,
need that.
no, and Cal got like that danger Will Robinson face. He was just like, rah, rah.
Yep. Red alert.
Red alert. But I loved how Giselle says, oh, okay, they were living in your movie.
That's
Exactly.
right. That was
I was like,
that was put it.
girl,
Yes.
Yes. Very good.
She is so good, Giselle. She really
very
is.
quick.
Yes.
Very
and then
quick.
that's when she starts talking about how her ex was a pastor and how she said she had to live her husband's life. And then, like you said, Wendy being the first lady and have a poker face and not show emotion. And was very diplomatic about it. But again, I think there's some ulterior motive there now that I look back at it. Because why, if you're really Giselle's good protective friend and somebody says some red flag shit like that, why would you be like, oh, well, he's working on his vulnerability and you are working on your transparency? You would have been like, girl, I don't know about this one. Yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
And then Earl and Shannon's girls were sitting together and they asked him if he had watched the show. And they asked, do you expect your partner to watch Shannon's shows, like watch them together? And she said watching is difficult. And he said that
Watching herself, right?
Yeah. And he said, well, watching something that hurts you would be difficult for me. And he says he doesn't know how he would handle that.
Good
Which
answer,
is honest.
Earl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good
Because Shannon's
answer.
always crying. Those girls are always at
I can't take
beefing.
it.
Yeah.
I can't take that when somebody's crying all the time.
No, I know.
Can't take it. And then Shannon in her confessional says that he has no idea what he's getting into.
Right.
And I think this is so true.
Right.
And that's when Shannon said, she doesn't know if he can date a simple man because her life is not simple.
Which is true. Her life is not simple. But you know what? Her life could be simple because that's
exactly it.
She could still be on Orange County Housewives. That's what, 3 months a year?
It is, but Orange County, like somebody to go on Potomac, some guy to go on Potomac. Okay. Orange County, you have Tamra. She's nasty. She's going to come for you. You have there's turmoil on OC. It's like bringing somebody on Jersey.
Yeah, but listen, if she really wants to have a simple life, she could still do it. She doesn't have to bring him on.
No, she doesn't have to bring him on.
She doesn't have to bring him on.
But
And
it's
he doesn't have to
I
watch
think
it.
that used to be okay on the Housewives, but now it's like if you don't bring them on, then people are digging shit up about them, and then they got to come on just to defend themselves. Like the show's so different now.
I mean,
I could just see her being skeptical of bringing somebody like him on who does live a simple life. She's only dated people, she was married to David, and then John Jansen clearly wanted to be on the show. I mean, that guy kept saying he didn't want to be on the show, but he did want to be on the show. And so much so that he started dating somebody else after they broke up. That's how badly he wanted to be on the show. So it might be hard. I could see her being skeptical.
Yeah, but Eddie's not on the show that much.
No,
Tamara's
he's not. But Tamara's always the one starting the shit.
Of
so
course she is. But I'm
it's
just
easy
saying.
for Eddie not to be on.
if Shannon didn't want him to be on the show, it could still happen. Like she could have her happy ending. She could have the simple life. And let's face it. How many more years is she actually going to be on The Real Housewives of Orange County, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she is 60. She is one of the older housewives, right?
Yeah.
So
she's got to hold on to it as long as they keep her, though. She needs the paycheck.
yeah, but it doesn't mean you've got to give up the future happiness and a simple life, you know? I don't know.
Yeah. I just have this feeling that she's just, I don't know that she has the emotional maturity to choose anything than the devil she knows, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, it's always hard for you to kind of go out of your comfort zone, especially at our ages, especially at 60. Like,
Right, but
you do what's comfortable for you.
right, but the
Most
comfort zone
people, I
for her is assholes.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Verbally abusive men. Yeah.
Controlling.
Controlling.
Cynthia asked Mark if he's interested in getting married again, and he said, as you get older, it's more difficult to settle down.
Yeah,
What?
I didn't like that.
I was like, boop, 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 red
Yeah,
flag.
what does that mean, Mark?
Yeah.
So you're gonna mess around with other women, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, so
You don't want to be with one woman, is what you're saying.
Well, even they flash back to when he was on the first time and Luann said to him, are you here for love or fun? And he said fun. So, he's telling you who he is. You need to just listen.
need to listen.
Right? He's telling you who he
Mhm.
is. Just listen.
Yeah.
Just listen.
Yeah. And then, Cynthia starts asking him about if he prefers younger women. And then he says, I prefer women who I have fun with. And then he says, well, I like Luann. And then Mark says, do you want me to say I love you like James? Doesn't that frighten you? And she says, yes.
It is frightening. I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
Yeah. So I don't know about her and Mark. I'm thinking that's a no.
Well, I think Cynthia said the same thing, right?
Yeah.
She's
did.
getting more of a friend vibe.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
And I think she's
she
right.
actually said it. Yeah, she
Right,
said
too.
something here is not happening. You would be amazing friends. I just don't know if you two are amazing together. And let's see, Big Daddy B says, do you have reservations to Ashley and Ralph? About kids, divorces, different locations.
Where's
Ashley
Ralph
says,
from? Do we know?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not terribly far. He's not
I mean-
across the state. I mean, across the country.
But it would be moving. I mean, you're not staying in Potomac, Maryland, and him living in Tennessee, because that was the question. Like,
Yes.
do you, she'd be moving to Tennessee.
Where he'd be moving there. I can't see her up in her boys. That's the thing. Like, he's got adult children. He doesn't have to worry about that. She's got little boys whose father's in the same town, or, well, we think. I don't know where Michael exactly is, but
Right. We don't know where he is.
you got to stay close to him and their school and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Her family, her mom helps her.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And then what about Ralph discovering that he's has ADHD, dyslexia, and OCD?
Yeah, that was something.
I agree that was very telling that he admitted that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah. And she said in the confessional she was happy that he was, open and comfortable enough to share that.
I mean, the
So-
fact that he said he can't read a book.
That's
you
gotta
know?
be horrible.
Yeah. And to just find it out so late in life,
Yeah.
And you have 5 children. Okay, now wait.
Right.
I guess you weren't going to the parent-teacher conferences because
Well, you probably weren't helping them with homework.
or doing any of that, right? Because
Yeah.
there would have been some kind of indication, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we have the scene with Theo and James come up to Earl and Shannon and the girls. And then Shannon asks James if he's seen Luann. And that's where he starts talking about the weird, Shannon says, Luann's a, kick in the pants. And asks James, does she make you laugh? And he goes, oh, well, that's what I fell in love with about her. And everyone was like, whoa,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Too much. Too
I
much
don't
too
know.
soon, James.
But then, like Shannon said, she said that Luann met the count and married him in 6 weeks. But then in the confessional, the producer asked, and she said it was 2 weeks, and it was quick.
Yeah.
When I told you when she was talking about it on I think it was Heather McDonald. It was a very whirlwind romance.
Yeah.
So, and even with Tom, I mean, that was quick too.
Super quick. Yeah. Super
I mean, so she moves quick, but maybe she's learned. Maybe now she will. And listen, she doesn't need to get married, right? Why does she
No.
need to get
She
married?
may
There's
end up not.
right.
She might lose any kind of compensation she gets from royalty. The fuck's giving that up?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say don't shoot for marriage
No.
even honestly, even for Shannon, like I don't even know if Shannon needs to, I
No.
think there comes a point in your life where if you just find a person that you can be with, then just be with that person.
Just be with them.
Companionship. That's it.
Right.
Companionship.
If your children are grown and raised and out of the house, there is zero reason to get a piece of paper. That's just my opinion.
Right.
This is
You
my
don't
opinion.
need to share a last name.
Right. And you're not going to share your last name anyway because your last name's already established. You're not changing your last name.
No.
Luann is going to be the countess until the day she dies.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
As she should be. Unless of course she marries a king and then she would be a queen.
Then
and
she'd be a
that
queen.
I would give up a countess for. That's just
100%. That is allowable.
Exactly.
We'll allow it, Luann.
Yes.
We'll allow it.
Yes. And then we see Mark's confessional. I don't know what he's thinking. He's like, I think this date made things a lot worse, but I'm not quitting. We are still a possibility. I'm like,
I know.
okay, bro. Keep wearing the vest. Keep wearing the vest.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe try something new tomorrow. Maybe wear something other than the vest.
Yeah, something. So then another cute thing was Earl got the girls necklaces.
That was cute.
Before they were leaving.
Loved that.
Sweet.
That was super cute.
So
Super cute.
thoughtful. It was so thoughtful. I mean, he got one for each of the girls and he got one for Shannon too, right?
Yes.
Well,
But
I didn't see that.
Does he know
Yes.
that there's another girl? Like, I feel like she needed to get one too.
I'm sure he did.
Okay.
I hope so.
I hope so. Or maybe Shannon can give her hers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Giselle says she's looking at Phil differently. She feels like he has been editing himself so that she doesn't send him home. And Shannon's talking to her girls and feels like Earl reacts badly to criticism. And
Shannon said that, not the girls.
Yeah, Shannon said that.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Joel says, then they'll cast us all together. And Joel says the next elimination is now. And everybody's like, oh, shit. And he's like, oh, just joking.
Yeah.
I think Ashley looked the most shocked. Didn't
She
you
did.
think
Well,
so?
she's
out of
the most
all they got.
nervous.
She's probably got the hardest decision to make out of all of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then he says there's only 3 days left till final checkout. So we shall see.
Yeah, that was interesting. So how
That
many
was
more
good to know.
episodes do you think we have?
Probably
I don't
3.
know.
3?
Maybe 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So they shouldn't be bringing in any new guys again, I would imagine.
Who knows?
Well, who knows? Because the next episode, there's definitely going to be an elimination.
Well, I mean, did you see the end where they show like what's coming up? There's a lot of drama coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I am really looking forward to all this drama, to be quite honest
for
with you.
sure.
It's been so tame on the drama so far.
It has. It really has.
So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see.
I
Yeah.
thought this was like a very busy episode. Like some of the episodes in the past have been like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
This like had a lot going on.
Well, them bringing the friends on, that was good. That was really good.
Yeah, I agree.
So we shall see what they say next time.
Yeah, man.
All
Okay.
right.
Until next time, thank you for watching and listening. Please like us and give us a 5-star review and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.